It's time to race in MotoGP. .3 kilometres in length then, 17 corners, 11 right, 6 left. This Mandalika International Street Circuit on the calendar for the first time 18 months ago. Super hot conditions coming up for the MotoGP riders, over 27 laps. The best race lap last year, Fabio Quattro. That was, of course, in a wet Mandalika Grand Prix. We saw an all-time lap record set yesterday on pole position for Luca Marini, overtaking hot spots into turn 1, turn 10. This was in that wet Grand Prix last year, Fabio Quattro and fellow Frenchman Joan Zarco into turn 16. Coming up next then, in MotoGP. 6 wins in the last 7 and looking unstoppable right now. New World Champs leader Jorge Martinez from Mandalika Maximum. After a first MotoGP pole and stunning sprint second on Super Saturday, Luca Marini looks to produce more on Lombok heroics. Ready to ride through the pain barrier again, Marco Bezzecchi is dreaming of an unlikely double podium from the 3rd row. And it's all about bouncing back for Pecco Bagnaia. The heat is on the reigning world champion to deliver a big result. He starts 13th. Good afternoon and welcome back to wonderful Indonesia. The Pertamina Grand Prix of Indonesia coming up in MotoGP in just under 45 minutes time as the top Ducati duels of Jorge Martin and Pecco Bagnaia get set to dice it out over 27 laps, with Jorge Martin after a 4th successive Tissot sprint win yesterday on Super Saturday. For the first time in his MotoGP career, he's the leader of the Premier Class World Championship standings. Beautiful part of Indonesia, beautiful part of Asia. Looking forward to coming back to Lombok for many a good year, with the spectacular coastline surrounds this spectacular 4.3 kilometre, 2.67 miles Mandalika circuit. Could not really be any closer to the ocean, could we? Turquoise waters, glorious sunny day, the aerial displays in full swing as well, and a MotoGP title fight that has had another major plot twist, as for the first time since the Spanish Grand Prix in Jerez at the end of April, Pecco Bagnaia has relinquished the World Championship lead. He comes into this afternoon's Pertamina Grand Prix of Indonesia 7 points behind Jorge Martin. It's Martin who has been flying high of late in the MotoGP World Championship. The 25-year-old Spaniard, not lower than 2nd in his last 7 races. That golden streak includes 6 victories. He is the man to beat again here this afternoon as we look at one of the undisputed heroes of this Indonesian Grand Prix weekend. In the company of Matt Burt, Lewis Suddaby in the commentary box, Simon Crayfart down in pit lane. The very much walking wounded Muni VR46 Ducati team with a fractured left collarbone in India, still recovering for Luca Marini, who took pole position and 2nd in the sprint. But this time last week, Marco Bezzecchi was prepping to go under the surgeon's knife on an operating table in Italy. Unthinkable, unimaginable that 7 days later he'd be lining up fighting for the podium in this Grand Prix of Indonesia. That's exactly where Marco Bezzecchi finds himself. Astonishing recovery. He fought his way through from 9th to 3rd in the sprint. What a shot that is. A proper bird's eye view of the Pertamina Mandalika circuit. Got to say, rather than me, not really one for the I don't mind flying, it's just flying in a straight line that I'm totally comfortable with. This is some show, isn't it, though? The Indonesian fans here being treated to a pre-race spectacle from the aerial display team. Lewis, this is going to be a big day, you feel, particularly for Pekka Bagnaia. 13th on the grid. Only 8th place in yesterday's Tissot sprint, losing the World Championship lead. He's been at the dizzy heights at the top of the championship for some time. I'm getting dizzy, actually, just watching these breathtaking shots. Absolutely awesome pre-race coverage here. But the Martin Bagnaia duel has taken another big plot twist yesterday.
Well, much like the jet that we were on board with there, it's the MotoGP World Championship battle that has been turned upside down in recent times. Pekka Bagnaia, when he completed the sprint with a podium in Barcelona on the Saturday afternoon, was 66 points clear of Jorge Martin. He now trails him by 7, with, of course, the Indonesian Grand Prix this afternoon and then 5 more race weekends to go in 2023. So it's a tall order for Pekka Bagnaia from 13th on the grid here this afternoon. He's going to have to walk that tightrope between caution and aggression to try and maximise his points haul. Regaining the World Championship lead today might well be too steep a climb for Pekka Bagnaia, but this might be a day for just banking whatever points you can and then living to fight another day in Australia. No Pecco, no party, they say. Well, Pecco will certainly do his level best to have them partying in around 27 laps time, but he's got his work cut out from the 5th row.
These Indonesian fans had to be very patient to get the glimpse of the world's best riders. Some of them would not have even been born. The last time we came to Indonesia before last year, 1997, the Sentul circuit in Jakarta. We were back last year for the first time in a quarter of a century at this magnificent Mandalika circuit. And they had to wait a little bit longer, didn't they? Of course, it was a lengthy rain delay last year, but no concerns at all about rain conditions. Do you want to be on the Road to MotoGP programme, of course? You have until the 31st of December to be part of the 2024 Northern Talent Cup grid. Sign up, northerntalentcup.com, to start your Road to MotoGP. That's one for some of the emerging young talents in Northern Europe to be keeping a very close eye, and get your applications in now then for the 2024 Northern Talent Cup Series. As Aleix Espargaro, Lewis, it feels yesterday like it was a real big blown opportunity for the factory of Plitin, because this man, you have to say, in terms of race pace, has probably arguably been the strongest rider of this Indonesian Grand Prix weekend, but of course involved in a collision after a poor start yesterday with Brad Binder, a 3rd successive sprint DNF, and then Maverick Vinales did so much of the front running in that 13-lap sprint before he fell out of podium contention with fast fading grip. Aprilia looking to bounce back and show what they're made of in this afternoon's full-length Grand Prix, because yesterday fell well below expectations.
And this was where it all ended for Aleix Espargaro as he tried to recover from a poor start up the inside of Brad Binder, very dirty and dusty off the racing line, which was where Aleix Espargaro found himself, on that dirty inside line into turn 16. The front just washing away and washing Brad Binder away into the runoff with him. Both of them out of contention. Brad Binder did later finish the sprint. KTM thanking Aleix Espargaro for his sportsmanship, as he was very quick to apologise and take full responsibility for that incident. But as you say, before the sprint began yesterday, I think many of us in the media centre here were asking the question, which Aprilia is going to win this one? In the end, neither of them did, as Jorge Martin took that crucial sprint victory. You do feel, though, over the longer distance here this afternoon, with 27 laps ahead of us, Aleix Espargaro has the pace and the longevity to win this Grand Prix, as long as he gets through the first lap unscathed.
As long as he makes a better start than what he did yesterday. Some clutch issues saw Aleix Espargaro lose the advantage of that hard-earned front row start, starting in P3, as he will do again this afternoon, but immediately slipped back down to 6th place. And it was in that desperation to quickly recover those lost places that he did go clattering into Brad Binder. Binder did remount and take the checker flag in that sprint in 19th place. This guy, well, for a number of weeks now, that pressure has been building and building and building. He looks ice cool, he looks composed, he looks relaxed, doesn't he? Even finding time to sign some autographs for the young fans here inside the paddock. A few photographs as well But no question, Lewis, the 26-year-old Italian firmly under the cosh right now, because, as you mentioned a few moments ago, what looked like a real healthy buffer of 66 points has just completely disappeared. And now we're going to really find out what the world champion is made of. Now that he is no longer the hunted, now he is the hunter.